Welcome to day one of our workshop. Today's focus is going to be on creating powerful facial expressions. Now, there's a lot of details in the face. You have the eyes, you have the nose, you have the mouth, you have jawlines, you have ears, earlobes, hair stylings, eyebrows, forehead. You have all these elements of the face. To try to juggle all those when you're learning to create an expressive face for the first time, it's a lot. So we're going to strip down the face to what I call the key features. Now, for me, the key features are the features of the face that convey expression and emotion the best. And those are the eyes, the eyebrow area, this kind of zone here, and the mouth. So the first step for today is to work on the placement of those key features on a really generic face shape. And the most generic face shape I can think of is a flat circle. So with your drawing tablet or pencil and paper or iPad or whatever you're working on, I want you to open a new blank document so we can practice drawing the features, the key features of a face. So you get your pencil, and before you start drawing, just pay attention to how I move my hand. Notice I'm not moving from the wrist, like when I write, like if I'm doing my hand signature. I'm moving from the elbow and the shoulder. This helps keep my pencil straight and even. Notice when I move from the wrist, my pen goes through a lot of different angles. And those angles can throw off the form I'm trying to make. So if I move from the arm, I have way better control over the shapes I'm making. So now I'm going to go to my paper and working nice and big, try not to work on a small surface, the bigger the better. I'm going to create a circle to represent the head. Notice I go over it a bunch of times until I feel confident that somewhere within this doodle is a nice, clean head shape. Now, a blank canvas can be really intimidating and hard to work in, so the more you can divide up a surface as you're making a design, the better. So for a face, it helps to divide it into 4 parts, like this. Now I know where the center, vertically and horizontally, is of my design. I'm going to start by placing the eyes. Begin with the pupils, and then big circles around those to represent the eyeball. And they should be about 1 eye width apart, which leaves plenty of room for the nose, the bridge of the nose here. Now the mouth is going to be about 1 eye up from the bottom of the chin. So if you want, you could sketch a circle there, an eyeball-sized circle, and then put the mouth right about there. And a flat, smiley mouth should be about the width of the distance to the 2 pupils, like this. Now you have the key features of the face in what you could call the standard placement. They read as generically happy. They don't really have any sort of narrative expression to them, which is good because it gives us a starting point to practice from. Now let's look at the placement of the eyebrows. Notice whenever you make a facial expression, your eyebrows do a lot of movement. And when we read facial expressions, we look to the eyebrows for clarity as to what a face is trying to convey. So that's why I include them as one of the key features. They're going to sit right about there, right above the eyes, about the same width as the eye. Now that I've placed the eyebrows, I'm going to create a shape that's invisible in the final drawing, but it's going to help us create meaningful expressions. So now we've got a little mask-like shape sitting around the eyebrows and the eyes. We can use this little region to guide our expressions. Let's shrink this head down, get it out of the way. Put it over to the side here. Now that we've established the basic placement of the key features of the face, let's adapt them for an expression. Let's start with shocked. Now, if you make a shocked face for yourself, you can feel your eyes stretch open, your eyebrows go up, and your mouth drop down a little bit. Here's how the mask helps us convey an expression. Let's start a new face. Place the eyes, place the mouth. Just lightly sketch in these blank eyes. And now this time when we draw the mask, let's adapt it for this shocked expression. We're going to raise the eyebrows up. And now we're going to create the mask that represents shocked. We try to maintain the volume of the mask and stretch it upward. So that means the sides come in a little bit. So there's a mask for shocked. This continuous motion line here helps us make more expressive eyebrows. The eyebrows both need to exist along this curve. Now the eye shape also needs to adapt to the mask. So we're going to stretch the eyes out. And we're going to stretch the pupils out. And remember, the mouth in a shocked expression comes in and goes down. So we can just bring in this shape a little bit, maybe turn it upside down. Notice I'm not doing any erasing. I just draw over the top of my sketches. The less erasing you can do, the better mindset you'll be in while you're working, because you're not thinking about the mistakes you're making. The trick is just to learn to read through all the messy lines in your sketch when you go to ink. I'll do a little erasing just so this is a bit more clear. And there you have a shocked expression, and you can see the way the mask affects these key elements. Let's ink this just to get a better look at the final design. I'm going to switch to my cartoon nib pen. Now, with inking, you want a nice wide line, because that will allow you to make variation in the line width depending on the pressure of your hand. If you start with a really skinny line like this, that might be fine for some spaces and some shapes, but you're not getting any variety in your line width. I always scale my brush size up a little bigger than I want. That way I can lighten up with my gestures, and if I want to really push home a line, I can press way down. But I can also make really delicate lines. So a wider brush is going to get you a more expressive line. When I go to ink a design, I try to capture everything in really simple, clean gestures. So this is a stage where drawing on a tablet can really help you because you can erase. But of course, I spent a lot of time working with traditional tools, and sometimes you just have to get comfortable with the imperfections of a brush or a marker. But drawing on a tablet, I have more options. Notice my sketch is really a guide. I stretch my designs even a little further in the final ink. Now I'll turn off that lower layer. And there we have just a really clean, shocked face. There's a sketch again, so you can see the influence of the mask and the guides. And there again is the final design. Now from here, we can build our other features of the face. So let's say, for example, we want to put a nose in here and maybe some wrinkles under the eyes or a shape for the hair. Or even stretch some of the features further. This is why I call the eyes, the eyebrow, and the mouth the key features, because they really are the foundation of the expression. Everything else is kind of the icing on the cake. It enhances the drawing, but if your foundation is weak, all these secondary features aren't going to help you too much.